Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, if you're just hopping in here, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to be entered into our t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream, all you got to do, leave a comment down below, hit that like button, get entered into our t-shirt giveaway. I'm going to pick someone from our comment section from last week. So if you commented on the Monday call-in show last week, hint, hint, if you haven't done it yet, you can go over there now. Go comment over there. I'm going to pick a qualifier from over that way later on tonight at the end of the show. But we got a lot to get into, some exciting stuff. The New York Jets wind up winning the bye week this week. The Bills fall to the Patriots. The Dolphins fall to the Eagles, and it feels oh so good. Oh, so good. So good, in fact, that we had to put a poll question up. Keep saying we. I guess I have split personalities. It's myself, the pilot, the tinfoil hat guy. I say we. Best part of the bye week was Dolphins lost to the Eagles or Bills lost to the Patriots. I want to hear from you guys which ones you felt were more satisfying. I love it. I love it. Boys and girls, let's talk a little bit about the bomb in the division. Bills fall to the Patriots. Now, obviously, the Jets lost to the Patriots, so it's hard for me to sit here today and really rip on them too hard because we need to put our money where our mouth is and actually beat the Patriots. But I will say this, Patriots looked a lot better against the Bills than they did against the Jets. The Dolphins, oh man, we were expecting this one. Philadelphia coming off a tough loss to the New York Jets. The Jets, riddled with injuries, able to take down the Birds. The Dolphins, they got their own injuries. They're making excuses. Sorry, we didn't have any offensive line. We didn't have our starting corners. Oh, really? Jets don't have their week one starting left tackle, starting right tackle, or starting right guard. And we were missing our top three corners when we played the Eagles. Put up a W. I think the Finns are a bunch of bums. Bums. That's right, Finns fans, if you're in here, coming over from the round table, we'll see you Black Friday. Going to be a very, very exciting game. Looking forward to it. Will the Finns be able to do what they've done to the rest of the league? I shouldn't say rest of the league. Let's be honest. They have not beaten a team over 500 since last year. To be more specific, I believe it's 365 days. I believe that's the exact amount of time since they last won against a team above 500. They have been beating the bottom feeders. And the NFL landscape is calling these guys the AFC East team to beat. Or AFC team to beat, if you want to go that far. Drop a 70 burger on a terrible Broncos team, then all of a sudden they're the talk of the town. All right. Get healthy, Miami. I want no excuses come Black Friday. No excuses. That's what I want. For those of you guys that have not been here before for the call-in show, I'll talk to you guys, talk to the comment section a little bit, then we'll roll into calls. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the timer, and after 3 minutes...
That's it! You're out of here!
That's right. You get the chicken. We'll see how long we do this for. Bye week, maybe a little less action tonight than we normally see. But if we have enough people on the phone lines and people are hopping in the chat, then we'll keep it going, a little 2-hour stream here. All right. I want to pull this up. Sorry, not doing call-ins yet. Pull that off the screen. These are the final games for the AFC East. Trying to get into the playoffs. Screw it. The Jets are going for the division. Strength of schedule-wise of these three teams. The Bills have the hardest schedule remaining, then the Dolphins, then the Jets. I'll be honest, I did not run strength of schedule for the Patriots because I did not think with 5 losses they'd be coming back. So forgive me for that. Buffalo strength of schedule, 0.554. Miami, 0.53. Jets, 0.500. Obviously, we play a lot of the same teams, but at least we are done with the gauntlet of our schedule, and the rest of our division now has to go through that same gauntlet that the Jets went through. The final 4 games of the season for Miami, not easy. Not easy. Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. Bills' final games of the seasons. Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots, Dolphins. Jets have a little bit of an opportunity here on the back half of the schedule. You got to be able to take advantage of it. Got to be able to take advantage of it. Jess P jumps in and says, what a feeling. 2 straight Mondays with a Victory Monday, right? We have our Broncos game, Victory Monday. We have Eagles game, Victory Monday. Today, let's call it 3 weeks in a row. Can we call it 3 weeks in a row? This feels like a Victory Monday for us. I'll take this. The Jets certainly did not lose anything yesterday. Heck, we'll go into the comment today. Maybe we get another player back. We'll pull up Robert Sal's comments on that in just a little bit. Brian comes in. Brian says, if Rodgers is cleared to play week 18, I think we should keep it quiet so the Pats prepare for Zach, and then we send Rodgers out. Oh, man. Could you imagine a little 4D chess? They got to have their finger on the pulse. I think the entire football world will at that point. It'll be one of those situations where you figure out, okay, did the Jets, is there hype around the Jets? Are they saying, okay, Rodgers might be back? If the Patriots keep losing the way they were losing prior to this past week's win, they may not be fighting for anything come the end of the season. That would feel really good. Would love nothing more. I don't know. Actually, I want them at full strength. I definitely want them at full strength. I don't want to say I don't want them not to play for anything. I want them to put up a fight, and I want us to just dismantle them systematically. There is part of me that would love to see Zach Wilson go out there and be the one to kind of exercise those demons. But if it's a win and in situation, you can get Rodgers out there. How do you not put him out? Blitzcrew comes in and says, Finns fans always have excuses. Bills, an average team at best. Division is open for us to win it. 8 days left until the deadline. Milk thumbs. That's right, boys and girls. Hit those milk thumbs. We got over 120 people in here. Only 40 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. I would agree with this. The Dolphins have to prove they can win against elite competition, or at least above average competition. Because as of right now, the Dolphins are not that team. The Bills, I think the injuries are starting to get to them. Obviously, the losses of Trey White and Milano changes that defense immensely. Josh Allen, when too much is put on him and he has to do everything, mistakes are going to happen. I think that defense is not what it was. Even with Von Miller coming back, I think the Jets are going to have a better shot at sweeping the Bills this year than they've had in a long time, mainly because of those injuries. The Jets right now, from week 1 to now, I feel like have gotten better from that point in time. Now, we also had a lot of juice, and there was a lot of funky stuff that happened in that game. Obviously, Rodgers going down, that plays an emotional factor into this whole thing. But I would say the division is absolutely on the table. And last year, 9-8 got into the playoffs. 9-8. That's the Dolphins were 9-8, and the Steelers? Is that right? Steelers missed the playoffs at 9-8. The Finns made the playoffs at 9-8. The other two teams were 10-7. So you want to try and get to that 10-win mark, which means the Jets got to find 7 wins over the course of their schedule. I would say their best shots at that: Giants, Chargers, Raiders, Falcons, Texans, Commanders, and then you got to win 1 against the Browns, 1 against the Patriots, 1 against the Bills, or 1. Is that right? Patriots, Browns, Dolphins, or Bills. Got to have one of those games to get to 10 wins. Jets also got to beat who they're supposed to beat. How many times have we seen the Jets play to the level of their competition? I don't want to see that. Blitzcrew follows that up, says, Eagles are a team that keeps on giving. Hopefully they keep giving L's to our division rivals. That's what I want to see. Jet King says, imagine Rodgers comes back, but we only use him in the red zone. LOL, go Jets. Yeah, imagine if he's like, they're like, okay, we're prepared for Zach. Or we do a 2-quarterback set and it's Zach and Rodgers back there. Crazy stuff could happen, right? Crazy stuff. You never know. Once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Cuca Lake says, upstate, where are you located? I see someone talking about it in the chat. What are you guys talking about in there? I was a Binghamton guy. I think someone else put in the Binghamton area in there. I thought I saw that. There he is, Gangrene. I'm upstate, Broome County. I was at a wedding for one of my Binghamton buddies. I'm on the dance floor, wiggling it up, going crazy. Guy wiggles on over next to me on the dance floor. Do you have a radio show? It's like, no friggin' way. I'm in a tux. Nice to meet you. Had a wristband on, gave him a wristband. Anthony D says, if we unleash the run consistently, this could be what 09 fell short at, plus this is a superior defense to that one. I would say this is a much better defense in that we don't have to manufacture pressure. The Jets are able to do it with just their front four. Jerome says, I am serious. Don't call me Shirley. Not entirely sure what that means. That's okay. Anthony says, these division games are going to be so crucial. Sweep the Dolphins and Bills. We might actually have this. I don't know if we're necessarily going to do that. If we can split with our 3 division rivals, the rest of our schedule looks pretty favorable. Because that would mean we get 1 win against the Patriots and 1 win against the Dolphins. And as we did that whole counting thing before, we have 6 wins, 6 teams that we should win against. Not saying 6 wins. Got to take it 1 week at a time. But that gives you 8. Then you're talking about 11-5. That's what I want to see. Hype says we are going on a run, Ryan. We are going to embarrass more quarterbacks. I hope that happens. Tanya says the same thing. This will happen. This will happen. Brandon says, think we'll be 8-5 heading into the second Finns game, with Rodgers' return 2 losses being Finns' first time and Bills. Interesting. I think it's more, I shouldn't say more likely. I always write down to the division as split, 3-3. At this point, I'm not so sure the Jets can't sweep the Bills. I would say Bills fans are probably a little concerned at what they're seeing right now. It is going to be in Buffalo. So that does change things just a little bit. Twisted said, Thomas, Pohl, Belichick just signed a new contract extension this past offseason. Was kept quiet for some silly reason. Did they say how long it was? Someone just said that to me the other on the round table. Not to me, but in general, that there was an extension. I did not know that. I'm glad. Keep them up there. Two to Money says, I hope we don't come out slow. I hope we come out like we are on fire. We can't start slow. The Jets have had, I think it's 3 losses in a row. It's a lot, actually. I think it's like 1 in 10. We are not good after a bye. Specifically, the last 3 years with Salah. Or I guess this is the 3rd year, right? It's a little different. 2 years in a row we've lost with Salah. I don't want it to be a 3rd one. Giants are going to come out to play this game. It is going to be an issue. You cannot look over the Giants. I know their offensive line is crap. The Jets' defensive line is filthy. But you cannot overlook the Giants. They've heard all offseason that the Jets are the team in New York. They're going to be out for blood. Douglas comes in. Ryan, your whole shtick is aviation themed and you didn't catch the airplane movie reference? Surely you can't be serious. I'm always serious. Don't call me Shirley. No, so I've actually never seen Airplane. I know. Probably a bad pilot. I'll have to watch. Everyone else saying, what the hell's going on? What's going on? Scott V says, Rodgers is on the Manning cast. Is he on right now? I know he's supposed to be on tonight. Scott says, "Oh my God, Ryan, it's from Airplane." So see, I missed the reference. That's what happens. Big Block Joe says he's from Monroe. I've been in Monroe. Used to play them in track. That is a very big school. Huge school. Like, no joke, I think they were 2 or 4 times bigger than the high school I went to. Monster. Thomas says, Giants almost beat the Bills. We should have no problem with them, especially with all of their recent injuries. I agree. Brian comes in and says, Breeze, 75-yard touchdown to open the game. That's what I want. Just blow the doors wide open. I want this to be an onslaught on Sunday. The unit. We better not have a bye week layover. They better come prepared. I cannot deal with my Giant annoying friends. Got a lot of friends that are Giant fans. I'm not talking smack because I know how our Jets usually do me dirty. So I'm not talking smack. You can't overlook them. They got a strong defense. Offensive line is Swiss cheese. I could have put a poll question in there, I guess. Would you prefer to play Danny Dimes or Tyrod Taylor? I think Danny Dimes is out still. Not sure if that's actually confirmed or not for the game. But yeah, can't have a layover. Blitz Crew. You see that email I sent you? The missed roughing the passer call on Sweat hit on Zach that the NFL fined him for. Yes, I did, Blitz Crew. I saw it. I meant to respond to it. I did not respond to it because I was like, I'm going to bring it up on stream. So Blitz Crew sent me an article. I think you guys saw it too. I'm pretty sure Green Bean made a video about it as well. The NFL, for the second time this year that I'm aware of, it could be more than that, it's 2 times, they said, oh yeah, we missed that roughing the passer call. That's our bad. Should have been a roughing the passer call. Oh yeah, I guess you hit Zach's helmet. Yeah. 660 days. Still no roughing the passer call. Over 650 days. That is a statistical anomaly, my friends. 7 roughing the passer calls is the average that your team gets over the course of a season. 7. The Jets have played 2 seasons. Got none. Can't tell me there isn't something that the Jets need to look into. It's a serious issue. Just Ryan, never seen Airplane 1, 2, or 3? Negative. Sorry. Jesse says we want them to keep Belichick. He's stubborn. Players don't want to play for him because he's not fun and he wastes their draft picks on special teams. Keep him. Yeah, I don't care that he gets an extension. I want to keep him there. I was worried they might get rid of him. Him without Brady? Psh, no way. Sit down. Blitzker asking, how did Underdog go for you as far as this week goes? Not. Actually, I may not have placed a bet. I have to be in New York when I do this. So Pick'em doesn't work in New Jersey, unfortunately. I don't know if I may not have made a pick. I did what I thought would do good on stream, but I don't think I actually, let me see, did I do one? I did not do one. I usually feel so confident with the Jet stuff. I should have done something for the Eagles. It's bad news. If you guys want to support the channel, though, you enjoy what you're seeing here, if you head over to Underdog Fantasy, but linked in the description down below, use promo code JETS247, get yourself up to $500 first-time deposit match. Kind of cool. They don't realize that I would be playing Underdog Fantasy even if they weren't the sponsor. Don't tell them that. I've had a lot of fun with it. I dropped the ball this week, though. That's all right. I forgive myself. Douglas comes in and says, can they hypnotize? Words are hard. Can they hypnotize the team into believing the Giants are 13-point favorites and Zach's job is on the line if they do not get aggressive out of the gate? The Jets right now, I believe, are 3-point or 2.5-point underdogs? Overdogs. Jets are favorited for the first time this year, as far as I know. 2.5 points. I don't think we were favored against the Broncos. Favored? Favored, I guess. I would prefer every team think the Jets are easy to come by. Just walk right over. Oh, they got Zach Wilson at quarterback. Doesn't matter. I want to be the underdog in every game we play. I don't want to be favored. Expectations scare me. Right now. With Zach at quarterback. Expectations with Rodgers, a little different. Colin says, we better not have a bye week layover. They better come out strong, and I'm getting annoyed with my Giant friends because they always say they are better. Cuke Lake about to have some fun. Oh, geez. Jesse says, is Saquon going to play because he got hurt in the Bills game, and anyone know? I would assume he's going to play because didn't he play this past week? Pretty sure he did. Bills game was 2 weeks ago. I could be wrong. I didn't watch the Giant game, I'll be honest. Did not pay attention. Twisted says Belichick quietly signed a lucrative multi-year contract extension with the Patriots during the offseason. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Sunday on NFL Game Day morning. All right. So, hey, we're feeling a little bit, little happy. I would feel happy. I do feel happy. Keep his ass in New England. For the longest time, I was like, I can't wait for Belichick to get out of here. Oh, not so fast. Not so fast. Anthony says, hammered 1K on Jets to win the division with the odds. Wow. Ballsy move. Matthew says, best place to be is when expectations are high. Give me that smoke. I do want expectations because that means we're doing well. But I don't want our team to know about it. I don't want them to get full of lollipops and rainbows. Pay attention. Beat the team in front of you. Blisker says, I think I heard Daboll called Saleh and Hackett bums. That's what I heard. Let's bring in a little bit of heat. Come on. Jet Engine joining the membership tier again. Thank you so much, dude. If you guys want to support the channel, let's say you're not into Underdog and the fantasy pick'em aspect or the higher, lower contests, you can click the little blue join button below your screen. That helps support the channel as well. Jet Engine. Known you a long time over at Jet Nation Forums. Always appreciated. Always appreciated. Cuke Lake says, Ryan, did Saleh tip off Tippmann injury? So I guess let's hop over to that real quick because I did pull it up. Let's do this. This is what Saleh had to say on the Tippmann injury.
Preliminarily with Tippmann, did it seem like it might be something that could be a few weeks? Just,
No, Tippmann is he's a pretty quick healer. So like I said, it looked good this morning, but again, we'll see. I have a much better idea for you guys on Wednesday.
So Saleh said he'll have a better thought process on Wednesday. We'll have more information on Wednesday. And that Tippmann's a quick healer. You know what that tells me? Nothing. Robert Saleh is basically the meme for getting injuries wrong. So until that injury report comes out Wednesday and says Tippmann's only missing a handful of games or, is week to week, that would be me taking Robert Saleh's word with a grain of salt. 100% a grain of salt. Becton, we don't think it's going to be serious. Knocked out for the year. Zach, he's probably knocked out for the year. Not as serious. Oh, man. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Hank G says, Green Bean said on his podcast this morning that he heard through a source that Tippmann could be out for a while, unfortunately. I saw the Jake Asman clip with Rich Samini. I don't know if that's what he's talking about, where they were speculating a quad tendon injury. If that's the case, if it's a tear, he's definitely out for the season. It's going to be interesting to see what winds up happening. I have not poked around any of my sources to inquire. I guess that's a bad content guy. I don't know. I thought they were going to share it sooner. We'll figure it out. Hopefully we'll be fine. Sneakers to Boots says, any concern for Reed or Sauce in the concussion protocol? No. Not right now. Not right now. I would think they'll be out of it by the time Sunday comes around. Thomas says Saquon injured his left arm on Sunday. He got the ball stripped out afterwards. So let's hope he definitely is not up to par, not up to snuff. Jet Engine, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Salah has all the info he needs. Teams just don't have to report until Wednesday. I don't understand Jets fans whining about injury reports. They are what they are. Edelman has a knee, blah, blah. Yeah, definitely, look, the Patriots were king on that, right? For the longest time. Wasn't Brady on their injury report like almost every single week? Teams play games with this injury report stuff. They think it'll give them a slight upper hand. It doesn't have to give you like a massive upper hand, like, oh, wow, we don't know what the starting quarterback's going to be. No, maybe it's just the way a dude plays on the offensive line. And that may change how a defender decides to attack the guy in front of him. And now he's watching tape on Tippmann instead of watching tape on Wes. Guy can dream, right? We have heard that they thought it was serious with Tippmann for a little bit now. I don't understand what, being overly positive about it would do today, other than, the meme value for it. Salah definitely didn't give us the information I think all of us were sort of hoping for. Jets Up says concussion is a 14-day injury. I don't think any player that has sustained a concussion has played in the following week, but I believe they have come back within the 2-week mark. So I do think we're going to wind up being fine on both DJ Reed, who I think missed, 2 games plus the bye week, and Sauce missed the 1 game plus the bye week. Ferris Grim says, Sauce and DJ both said they are going to be fine. Got to prove it in practice. Yeah, hopefully they're all right. Jesse says, I know it's great to have all our players at full strength, but to be honest, Giants don't sling the rock all over the field, and our backs definitely can get the job done. I mean, I would love to see the Jets be able to pull some of their starters, get some backup guys a little bit of extra rest, but I am not overlooking the Giants. The Giants took the Bills to the last play of the game, and I know the Bills are looking a little, maybe not so Bills-like right now. They're on a little bit of a skid. That's still a strong team. And from everything I've heard, the Giants are supposed to be a horrible, horrible team. Their offensive line, yes, dog shit. But I think that team still plays hard. Still plays hard. It seems like they're going to rush Thibodeau now instead of putting him back in coverage, which I think would make sense. It's weird seeing him drop back. Colin says, I mean, with everyone saying Rodgers could come back by his fast recovery, as many Jets fans, I think the Jets make the playoffs. He can return then, but I don't think he will return midseason. I think there's a chance he comes back for that final Patriot game. That's kind of what I've been saying. I think that final Patriot game could be a win and in situation, and maybe that's when he comes back. I think he could be cleared to practice in December, but the Jets will kind of hold him back a little bit until they see for sure what they like. Matthew says, Sauce Gardner is holding out for a contract extension per sources. Well, he can't, because the Jets are not allowed, per the CBA, to actually give him more money until after next season. So Sauce cannot hold out, per sources. Sorry, Matthew. Blitzkrieg says, I think the Giants win dimmed their spoiler role position a bit. Yeah, maybe winning against the Raiders simmers them down a little bit. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, we'll be fine. We can beat the lowly Jets. And we smack them around a little bit. That's what I want to see. Kelvin says, what's up, Ryan? Jets, Jets. What's up, Charles? Saying, what's good? MD says, Rodgers not coming back this year, LOL. Why so negative? Why so negative? He's also supposed to be in a walking boot for another few weeks. Dude's walking around. Manifest it, my friend. Manifest it. Sneakers to Boots, celebrating 33 months membership, says, what's the game we end up losing that should be a win? So let's see. Looking at our schedule. Honestly, I feel like we can lose any one of these games, but I do think the Jets can win any one of these games. I think the Jets defense will put them squarely in position. But as far as games that I'm looking at on here, I would say the Giants, the Texans, and the Commanders are the ones that kind of stand out the most to me. Maybe you throw the Raiders in there too. Those would be like the 4 trap games. The Chargers coming over from the West Coast during the group bye game. Myself, O'Leary, and Green Bean going to be at not losing that game. Can't lose. Cannot lose. Which means I guess that should be a should win. I don't know. I would say every game for the Jets should be looked at as a trap game because we are not consistent enough to be able to, quote unquote, have a trap game. Honestly. Okay, Eddie says, my kindergarten teacher is Miss Cashman. My kid's kindergarten teacher is Miss Cashman. I was going to say, wow. Okay, Eddie. Kindergarten, typing up sentences already? Whew. Miss Cashman. She's Blake's cousin. Small world. Very cool. Yeah, it's nice to kind of see that the linebackers on our team, even going to other teams, are doing well. I feel that bodes well for our developmental stuff. Blake having a hell of a season down for the Texans. Will Hogan says, the Chargers are way more of a trap game than the Commanders. No! Commanders coming over from the West Coast. No, not Commanders. Chargers. Chargers, I think the Chargers are a good team. I wouldn't necessarily call them a trap game. I feel like the Giants and the Commanders would both be looked at as more trap games than the Chargers. Like, I would not want to overlook the Chargers. Their pass rush with Khalil Mack and Bosa is absolutely filthy. Their offense with Eckler and Herbert and Allen, still really good. I wouldn't overlook it. Oreo says, imagine 5 weeks from now, Ryan, the Jets sitting pretty at 8-3. Why can't we sweep Buffalo? The Finns have shown they aren't who we thought they were against really good defenses. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Jets could win every one of these games. I think the Jets obviously favored versus the Giants, while the Giants are technically the home team. I think we can win that game. The Chargers, I don't think they're well coached. They might be one of the worst coached teams in the league. I don't like Staley at all. The Raiders, Giants just beat them. I think if we can beat the Giants, I think we could beat the Raiders. Bills, we've already beaten them with all the healthy players aside from Von Miller. Now they're without Trey White and Milano. I think the Jets can win that game. Dolphins, I've been saying it for a while. I think the Dolphins are frauds. They've been beating teams that are not very good. They're exciting. And they've got their points and everything. They've got their yards. I'm sure Tyreek Hill and Waddle will have their success against Sauce and Reed. It'll happen. Not to the tune that it did in Denver, but I think it'll happen. So you look at the rest of the schedule after the Dolphins. Falcons, that could be a win. Texans could be a win. At Dolphins, let's say we lose that one. Say we split with the Dolphins. Commanders, should be a win. It's a home game for us. Browns on a short week, that's Thursday Night Football. And then we have the Patriots to round out the season. And we got 10 days leading into that game. Jets got to find a way to win. Got to find a way to win. All right. I'm going to end our poll question. The winner was Dolphins. Loss to the Eagles was more satisfying than the Bills' loss to the Patriots. I would tend to agree on this. I would tend to agree. I'm going to put the pinned comment in the live chat now. If you would like to join the show, do a little call-in stuff. Let's get that in there. Boom. You can scan the QR code on the screen. or you can click the pinned comment in the live chat. I'll pull up your call. Got our first caller coming in. We got Jake. Jake, how you doing tonight?
Well, that was quick. How you doing, man?
Real fast. I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. I feel like we have won the bye week by just not playing. How do you feel?
It was an amazing bye week. We beat, it's not we beat, but I mean the teams we needed to lose, they lost. So you start to see now that Josh Allen and the Bills don't have the right coach. I mean, if people are going to keep telling me McDermott's the guy, I really don't have to tell you anymore. And I've kind of said this about Miami. I feel like Miami reminds me a lot of the Saints and Sean Payton with Breeze. They're very harmonious, synchronous. They need everything to kind of fire on all cylinders. And then once something doesn't go right, like in the dome for them, and for them in the warm weather, it doesn't go well. The only thing Miami kind of has going their way is that the schedule gods put them in Miami in December mostly. So they get to be in the warm weather, unlike having to play real football weather outdoors and cold weather. So that's kind of the okay, fine, whatever, give it to them at that point. But they haven't beaten anybody good yet. So, can we win these games? Yeah, well, obviously, let's just not fall into the trap of after the bye week, which we've been absolutely horrible with Salah the first 2 years with. He's looked unprepared, and I don't want to look cocky with a bunch of young kids winning a big game against Philly and we blow it. So, and the Giants have some momentum right now, man. Like, let's not sit here and just say they're just going to be pushovers. Tyrod looks like he has a little juice left in him, as much as I don't think he's a great quarterback. And they really, and even with a crappy offensive line, they lost Shane Lemieux. They may get Andrew Thomas back. Justin Pugh is not really the same player, of course. It's just, the good news is they don't really have any receivers. I'm not afraid of Darren Waller, who's got his own problems, and, it's Saquon. So it's really just about taking care of business against the quarterbacks and the players we should be able to go against and beat. Like Herbie's not intimidating anymore. I mean, I can go down the list. So, I mean, I think you kind of get the sense where I'm going with this now.
Now, where do you think we finish up at the end of the season? If you think there's an easier route the rest of the way out, do you think that the Jets make the playoffs? Are we a 9-win team, a 10-win team, more than that? What do you think?
I think I have no comments because of Zach Wilson. I think we just can't sit here. I'm not starting this call by telling you that like we are going to beat everybody, because at the end of the day, it just takes one Zach Wilson. I lose to the Patriots every single year when they're terrible this year, Wilson. And if I watch any Ryan Leaf performances like him, it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. So it's just we have to see what that is. We have no idea what it is at this point. We just kind of got lucky knowing that the schedule has somewhat softened up. But look, the Patriots just beat the Bills, man. As much as I think the Bills are overrated, they lost to Bill Belichick and that team that has no talent right now. So, I mean, that's my perspective.
I think this division is totally up for grabs. I think the rest of the season is 100% winnable. You could win out. 100% win out. Every game is 100% winnable. But like Jake says, Zach Wilson under quarterback, we have not seen the consistency just yet. If we get what we've seen the last 3 weeks, plus a little bit of red zone work, a little bit of red zone help, Jets should be a tough out the rest of the way. Jake, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, I got Charles, then Joe on the line. Just want to bring up Marty's comment. Marty says, Aussie Jet been in the house, or be in the house. Giants will be called the midgets by the time we finish with them, and buzz off, you negative Nellies. I cleaned that up. Go Jets. Thank you, Marty. Show these guys who's boss. Guys getting all upset, saying the schedule's not as easy as it is, saying that we can't win every game that we're going against. Jets got this. Jets got this. Just can't overlook anyone. Can't overlook anyone. Charles, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ryan. How are you, buddy?
Hanging in there. How you feeling on this bye week right now?
Good. I didn't watch the Patriots and Bills game because I was too busy doing other stuff.
Okay.
I did watch the Steelers and Rams game. That was pretty fun. And I did watch the Eagles kick the crap out of the Dolphins. Jalen Hurts rebounded as I expected him to, even though he did turn over the ball a couple of times. The defense was great. I mean, the Eagles have a tremendous defense, and I told that to my father. I said, that defense is for real. They have a good defensive coordinator. Offense needs to still needs some work in progress, but they got some really good players and wide receivers. But anyway, by the way, the Giants didn't beat the Raiders. They beat the Commanders/Redskins. They didn't face the Raiders.
I'm wrong.
It was the Bears
I
that
forgot the
destroyed the
Bears
Raiders.
beat the Raiders. Yeah, I'm in a group chat with Giant fans and Raider fans. My wires are
It's
crossed today.
okay. Don't worry about it.
I knew it was
Anyways,
one
I'm
bad
actually
team
glad.
beating another bad team, and that's what I got.
I'm actually glad Darren Waller scored his first touchdown as a Giant. I've always liked Darren Waller.
He
I've
just
always
can't
thought
stay
he was a
healthy.
good.
That's really his biggest issue.
Well, he's been healthy this year, and he's got over 380 receiving yards, and he scored his first touchdown on Sunday, which was great. Great throw by Tyrod. I'm actually glad he's getting some playing time because personally, me and my dad, we always liked Tyrod. We always felt he was a solid quarterback. Not a great quarterback, but a productive quarterback. And he's got some mobility left in the tank. Obviously, the Giants' offensive line sucks. Oh, my God.
I do
That should
like
be a great
Tyrod
feast.
Taylor. Would you rather face Tyrod or would you rather face Danny Dimes?
Well, right now I'd rather face Tyrod because I like to see how I like more of a challenge. I mean, Daniel Jones got some mobility, but I think Tyrod Taylor is a better mobile quarterback than Daniel Jones, and he's been more productive. I mean, people forgot he used to be the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills before Josh Allen took over, and Tyrod actually put up some pretty good statistical seasons for the Bills before the Bills
Sure.
said, "Oh, we don't need you no more. We got Josh Allen now."
Yeah, there were
And
plenty of Jet fans that were interested in Tyrod Taylor. He was kind of like
so was my
steady Eddie
dad.
all the time. Never dominant by any stretch, but like very much kept things interesting.
Same with my dad. My dad's like, he would have been great for Zach Wilson's development, but it is what it is. Our defensive line, if they can, I'm not saying they won't, but if they can't get to Tyrod Taylor, we got problems. But continue, I can't even talk straight. With the defensive front that we have with Huff, Johnson, who I think is having a beast of a season, is going to have a beast of a season. Quinton Williams, John Franklin Myers, Quentin Jefferson, Al Woods. They should be feasting on that shit all day long. Anyway, that's all I really want to say. Have a good day, man.
Take it easy, Charles. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, got Joe joining the show. Joe, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Dude, I'm doing all right. Feeling pretty confident on our bye week right now. Can talk a whole lot of smack because you can't lose a bye week, right?
Yeah, I feel good. The situation we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take the Giants lightly, but we should get a W. I mean, that team is having some problems on all positions, to be honest, including the biggest one, the quarterback. But I think that should be a solid W for us.
We should. You have to be able, if you want to be considered a good team in this league, you have to beat the teams you should beat. And the Giants for this year are one of those teams.
I heard Chad Okocinco talk about Zach Wilson and that he believes in him. I know in the past he said the same thing, but this time he seems like he's giving us a little more detail where he says that Zach is progressing, as I have said, and that he only sees him getting better. And I agree. I don't see Zach going back that much like he did in the, for instance, the Patriots game. So I really believe that Zach is going to start to thrive eventually. It might take him until next year, but I think he'll get better and better this year.
Yeah, look, I'm just hoping he doesn't regress because if you see what we've gotten out of him the last 3 weeks, and if you can extrapolate that over the course of the entire season, yes, you got to get the red zone stuff figured out, but he's playing above average quarterback play right now, which is wild to say because from the eye test, it doesn't necessarily feel that way. I mean, obviously the Chiefs game felt pretty good. He didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot during the Broncos game, but he's playing above average football in relation to 2022 statistics. Like right now, his average, if it stays the same as it has the last 3 games, 63% completion percentage, that would put him 8th in the NFL. If he continues to have the yards he would have been at like 3,600 yards for a 17-game season. That would put him 12th in the league. So at the very least, we're getting above average quarterback play from Zach right now. You just got to hope he continues to at least stay consistent and hopefully grow a little bit more as we go throughout the season and just not have the so high highs and the so low lows. Not that I guess I shouldn't really say high highs because his highest high was the Chiefs game and we still lost that game. But I want to see more consistency, I guess, over a longer period.
Hey, listen, like I tell everybody, Dan Fouts sucked for his first 3 years. Worse than Zach Wilson. Fucking Hall of Famer, bro. Got a gold jacket. Rich Gannon, very good player, journeyman, maybe didn't get his act together 10 years into the league. I don't want to wait that long, but my point is 3-time Pro Bowler or 4-time, and then also won an MVP and went to the Super Bowl. Geno Smith's another good example who just recently is starting to come around. Took him a little while as well, kind of along the lines of Rich Gannon, but at the end of the day, it could happen.
It could happen. From your lips to God's ears, Joe. Thank you so much for the call.
You're out of here.
Been ejected from the cockpit. I've got Hep on the show. Hep, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good, bud. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm hanging in there.
I like
How you
to
feeling on the bye week?
I don't think we're doing getting any receivers in here. I think maybe they'll bring up Brownlee. But if we do get a receiver, I was thinking, how about DJ Chark, Carolina Panther? He reminds me. I mean, not DJ. DJ Chark. He reminds me. He's tall, he's fast.
I know. Are you talking about Terrace Marshall? Terrace Marshall was the one they were floated as like possibly trading, the former second round pick.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of DJ Chark.
Okay.
Do you remember?
So I don't. I do. I don't know how much the Panthers are going to be, how much they want to trade players, and I get the feeling the Jets are kind of fine rolling with who they have right now. They're kind of done investing. Like we might see like a trade of like a Lawson or of like maybe a back end kind of pick like a Cook. But
or maybe an offensive lineman or something, possibly.
I would love to see an interior offensive lineman get brought in. I don't know if it's going to happen, though.
I don't think so either. I think what we got to do is stick Ruckert on Mitchell's hip, and that's it. And like run with that.
I would love to see some more 3 tight end sets, or even just 2 tight end with Ruckert in line blocking. I feel like that's the best way to go about it, because at least you get another weapon on the field, and then you maybe give assistance to the inside.
And shore up that right side. The other thing is, do you think it's time to sit Michael Carter and see what Izzy can do?
I would like to sit Cook before I sit Carter, but I would like to see Izzy. And there's part of me that, I don't know. I feel like the speed is what is going to win games and going to set the Jets offense apart from maybe some other teams. But we didn't do it with Hardman. And I guess maybe because Gibson was showing out. And of course, Hardman gets moved and he has like a 50-yard kick return on the first touch he gets. Always frustrating.
And Izzy was catching some good balls out of the backfield as well preseason.
For sure. So, I would love to see us really utilize Izzy and that speed around the edge, because that's something that, Brees has, but outside of Brees, we just don't have it with Carter and Cook.
Yeah. One other thing, when we're facing a running quarterback, I like to see more McDonald Huff in a package with using their speed to track these fuckers down,
Oh, I would love to see that. I hate when you see Russell Wilson run for 22 yards or whatever. That drives me friggin' bonkers.
Man.
To some extent, there's a little bit of okay, do we send our guys ears pinned and go, or is someone like a Jermaine Johnson and a JFM who maybe can contain a little bit? Is that the better option? Because maybe they don't have the holes that open up the way like a speed rusher might kind of create. I don't know. I don't have the right answer to this. At least only rushing 4 makes me feel a little more comfortable, because at least you can sort of have someone spy. Someone raised the idea of having Will McDonald spy quarterbacks. I hadn't even considered that, but he's super athletic. That would be an interesting move.
Super fast too, yeah. You know what? I can't imagine. We talk about this about our defense. How many years did we suck for so long?
Oh,
and now we finally got something good, especially our defensive line. Now we have a really respectable defensive line. I'm really proud of those guys.
And they're
our
fresh late into games.
Yeah.
Hep, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I've got Lima Bean, then I got Jet Engine coming up. Lima Bean, how you doing tonight, brother?
Doing pretty good. It's fun to have a weekend where I didn't have to worry or sweat too much, really. I enjoyed playing Spider-Man, and that's pretty much it, and watch the game. So
I've heard great stuff about the new Spider-Man, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you have a PS5 or Xbox? I don't know.
I've got the Xbox right now. I have been poking around going with the PlayStation 5 as well. I've had almost all the generations of each system dating back, and it's always fun to have the PlayStation exclusives along with my Xbox Game Pass that has every friggin' game under the sun on it. But let's talk football, right? How you feeling on bye week?
Good, but a little nervous because the Giants got some steam in their sails for a little bit, beating the Commanders. They got a little bit of hope left. I'm hoping that Daniel Jones plays, because Tyrod Taylor, he's maybe not like a gangbuster kind of quarterback, but he
Mhm.
has a faster release and he's smarter, and I hope to God Evan Neal plays. Like,
Mhm.
it just we got to remind them that he's their first round pick. And I'll never forget when that draft was coming along and Matt was like, "Oh, I really like Evan Neal," and I said that the guy from Jet X Factor like called him a bitch. Like, I was like, I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
I
man.
think
Like,
Blewett did it. I was supposed to have
yeah,
Blewett on tonight, actually. Blewett was, I
yeah,
forgot I was going to have Blewett on. He texted me, he's like, oh, I can't come on tonight. I was like, that's okay. I
yeah.
totally forgot anyway. He's coming on next
Blewett
Friday, though.
repeatedly called him a bitch over and over, saying that he's a soft, lazy ass bitch. And he's like, "Look
Yep.
at the tape." And Matt was like, "I respectfully disagree." I was like, "Oh well, look at it's going now. Hamburger flippers and hot dogs." But no, he needs to play. So we got to remind him he's their first round pick, and they got to believe in him. Just
Mhm.
he needs to play so we could eat his lunch. He doesn't block, man. He just lets it go by. Like he forgets that there's a
Dude, he's
football
looked
game going
bad.
on.
He has looked
He just
really
doesn't
bad.
care. He just like it's like he's standing still, like at least like a turnstile moves, like he's just not even going. But
Are you concerned with
Wings,
Kayvon coming off the edge against Mitchell and Wes?
yes, but at the same time we also face better pass rushers. Kayvon's still raw,
Mm.
and maybe that could play into us. And just I don't know. Hopefully, someone needs to party with him. That guy has like he doesn't have the greatest ear for New York right now. I've been hearing that a
Mhm.
lot from news stations. So, get some parties, get Plaxico Burst to take him to a club or something. We get something going. But but that being said, like I'm more worried about the blitz
Mm.
from Wings because he's gonna send out crazy blitzes now more than
Mm.
ever, and I hope Zach's ready for it. We cannot lose to the Giants. If we have any hope for our season, we cannot
Mhm.
lose to the Giants. And like I said, I just hope Daniel Jones plays because he holds the ball much longer and he's
Mhm.
much more fumble prone.
Yeah, 100%. You got to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. I saw an article earlier today where they're like, oh, the Jets defense is not sustainable right now because we're winning based on a lot of turnovers. It's like, okay, I get that. But the defenses or offenses we're going against are going to get a lot easier on the back half of the bye. And maybe that starts with the Giants and hopefully a little bit of winning in our own stadium as opposed to the Giants beating us in our own stadium, even though it's an away game for us. Stupid. Lima Bean, you've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, we've got Jet Engine joining the show. Jet Engine, how you doing tonight, brother?
What's up, pal? How you been?
I'm hanging in there. How you feeling on the bye week?
Bye week. Well, first off, I got to call up because the last time I talked to you, I had a little bit of tough love for Zach.
Sure.
I stand by most of it.
Mm-hmm.
He has shown a lot the last few weeks. I will give him that. I'm the first person to give credit where credit is due. He has stood in the pocket. He's been on time, drop back, hit that foot, and gone. That's what he's should have been doing that from day one. Fantastic. Yep. He's doing it now. That being said, we can look at numbers and manipulate them. He is not playing at average quarterback level. Now, statistically, there's a few statistics. Yeah, you can say that. We're not getting in the end zone inside the 20. That's a problem. That's a massive problem. I hope that they've been working on that for this entire week. Now, that being said, you guys were talking about something the other day that kind of piqued my interest, talking about how Woody should be calling the league, or somebody should be calling the league about this disparity in some penalties or whatever. And I had a better idea. We have one Jets Drive.
Yep.
It's one of the best production shows in the NFL, owned by a team. If I was editing a video, especially that one after the Kansas City Chiefs, and you've probably seen my comments, if I was the editor, I would have slowed down the Jermaine Johnson hold, showed it from every angle in super slow motion, and I would have had my narrator read the definition from the NFL rule book of what holding is. You're not doing anything wrong there. You're not criticizing the league. You're simply showing a play and you're reading the rules, number one. Number two, then you go and you do the same darn thing for that illegal contact downfield. Illegal contact happens. That flag is to be thrown immediately upon seeing the contact. Why was that flag held until the interception was made? The Jets have the capability of saying, hey, NFL, we have our own channel. We have thousands of subscribers. Anybody's going to pick this up. Put it out there. When I'm seeing guys getting tapped, knocked down, pushed down, and it's being called as roughing, and every time this gets mentioned on Jet Nation, what do? I put those Matt Milano hits, that shoulder pad right into Zach's face mask every time and say, and this is okay? This is okay.
It's ridiculous.
I would ask, if I was the coach or general manager of the Jets, I would ask the league, why is the health and safety of my quarterback not of importance? When you say that is why we are changing the game, we are changing the equipment, but you're going to let this kid get hit in the knees, hit in the face masked, slammed to the ground repeatedly for 2 years without ever getting a call.
Mm-hmm.
So you're lying. So make somebody accountable, be held accountable. That's not breaking the rules. That's not criticizing the NFL. That's saying, here are your rules. Are you going to stand by them? Period. That's all I got.
I 100% agree. That was well said. And like to the second, too. I love what you just said because accountability and consistency. Like, I don't care if you're going to call a hold on the Jets, but if you're going to call a hold on the Jets, make sure it's at the very least the same kind of call that you're calling on the other end or not calling on the other end. I don't like the weird difference between what's being called for the Jets and what's not being called for the Jets.
Hey, I just got a phone call. The NFL just called me. They just gave Jalen Hurts another touchdown. They've changed. The Jets actually lost that game. Jalen Hurts actually got a touchdown in the last week. So who knows?
Oh, we got to retroactively take that Jets win away. Sorry, we're less happy going into the bye week because we need the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Jet, thank you so much for the call. I'll talk to you on Jet Nation. I love it. We got Devin joining the show. Devin, how you doing tonight?
Living life, Ryan. Living life.
Feeling
I'm
good
feeling
going
great
into the bye
after-
week, or I guess coming out of the bye week?
Amazing. I watched Philadelphia absolutely embarrass the trash fans last night.
It feels good,
That wasn't
right?
even close.
There's been
It
so
wasn't
much
even close.
excitement coming out of Miami. You'd think they would have won something by now.
Exactly. I want to touch a little more on what the previous caller said.
Sure.
The penalty disparity is just absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm. I
I
completely agree.
watched every single game of New York Jets football. I watch them 2 or 3 times.
Mhm.
I watch a lot of football. It's BS. It's getting to the point where there has to be something done by the league.
Mhm.
These refs are out of control.
I wish they would do like some sort of sky judge or something. Like there's been games where they're like, oh no, hey, reverse that call real quick, or like, turn that ball over right now. We watched it real quick. We don't have to do this whole production of going into the booth and like, okay, he's got the thing over his head, which I guess they don't do anymore. They're just looking at like a tablet. You have to move on from this and at least get the calls right, especially the ones that have a clear definition of what it is. And if it impacted the play, we should be allowed to challenge it.
Exactly. I listened to Green Bean's podcast earlier today,
Mhm.
and he brought up an excellent point. Or I listened to it somewhere. Why do we not have full-time referees?
Mhm.
It's 2023. It's time. This needs
Yeah.
to be a career path.
It should be like, refs that are in the college ranks, refs that are in the pro ranks, send them over to like the spring league stuff too. Just get them reffing as many games as possible. I guess maybe like different rules is probably a bad thing because there's only so many games you can actually like referee under the same rules. But like, I don't love that there's like lawyers and, I'm sure people that work at grocery stores, maybe they're referees as well. Like, get these guys going through some sort of like, I don't know, high-end school or something like this. Keep them working throughout the year. It's rough. This has been a bad year for penalties.
It really has. It really has.
Now,
But
what would you like to
on
see
the
going into this
positive note-
Giant game?
I want to see Zach get through his progressions faster in the red zone. Like everybody's saying, he needs to get through the progressions, period. He does it extremely well in that like 40 to 30 range. I've noticed that. Either side of the field, 40 to 30, he's great. If he
There's
gets
that little
inside
bit
the
of
25,
more
he loses it.
space, right? Like that once the secondary starts closing in and you don't have as much room to work with, gets a little tougher.
Yep.
He was able to sling that ball in there real fast for the 2-point conversion. So that's a de
That was
facto
great.
red zone play, right? Right?
Yes.
Devin, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Boys and girls, if you'd like to call in, all you got to do is click the pinned comment in the live chat or scan the QR code on your screen. We'll go over to the chat and see what you guys are talking about in there. See you guys posting your wins. Dakota's like, oh, we're at 3-3 right now. We'll be 4-3. We'll be 5-3. and then we'll be 6-3 heading into the Buffalo game. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Ferris Grimm, DJ Shark, do 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 do, DJ Shark, do 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 do. Been watching a lot of Coco Melon with Shay. I know the Daddy Shark. Salem Hoy says, love the new angle, Ryan. Whoa. That's actually kind of a throwback angle to some extent. I had the switching of cameras. I have another angle that I don't use because it throws me off. It could go in two different ways. I got the laptop over here that I don't use that camera. Got this bad boy right here. I got that one over there. Glad to have it back. Just When Jet says, go get Cortland Sutton. I like Cortland Sutton. I just don't know if the Broncos are going to bend over backwards to do us any favors. That seems a little far-fetched for me. Ferris Grimm says, big news, Aaron Rodgers on the Manning Cast said his goal is to come back this season. Let's go. Ferris Grimm, have you not been paying attention the rest of this time? Of course we know that. Harlan says, what I don't like is penalty against the Jets called until after the interception or fumble recovery. Penalty is long before. Yeah, that's what Jet Engine was saying. You got to call the penalty when it happens, not after the outcome is already decided. Jet Engine said, Octonauts and Peppa Pig bubble guppies are okay. I've heard about bubble guppies from a coworker at work. I tried watching it. It's probably a little, I don't want to say a little old, but like Shay's got to be a little bit older, I think, to understand some of what's going on there. I have not watched Octonauts or Peppa Pig. I do know what Peppa Pig is. We've been big Miss Rachel fans, big Coco Melon fans. I've been putting on SpongeBob for her, which is probably not great. We've been watching Walking Dead, probably also not great. The first few words of her was like, brains. I guess I got to watch what I'm actually putting on TV now. Adirondack says, Ryan, it's only the beginning with Coco Melon. Coco Melon's like eye candy. I feel like and they're fun songs too. Wheels on the Bus. Big fan of Wheels on the Bus. But I would say that Miss Rachel I like more because there's more pronunciation. There's more like she's seeing words spoken. I like it. Give me all the kid shows. It's all right. Twisted says, why would they change refs in any way? They are doing exactly what the NFL in Vegas needs them to do. As long as they're making their money, they don't care. They don't care. Harlan says the referees are more like referees for professional wrestling. That's what it seems like. Hey, that outcome didn't look good. Okay, boom. Now we'll throw the flag. Ferris says, Kittle got hit in the family jewels on that play. I should really have the game up. I don't have the game up right now. Jet Onion says, watched Saving Private Ryan when Connor was 2. I love that movie. That is one of the most epic opening scenes ever. I think it still is the best opening war scene for any movie, if I'm not mistaken. The D-Day scene is unreal. Very graphic movie for a little kid. I watched, when I was younger, my dad put on Leprechaun when my mom was away, and my brother and I were terrified. If you haven't seen Leprechaun, it's a very campy, what would you call it, like a B-rate horror movie? I feel like there were one or two bigger names in the first one when it was like a really bad just movie. But he's like a creepy leprechaun, super creepy. Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite movies, though. It's a really good one. Twisted said it would be awesome to hack the refs' frequency and record what they are hearing and saying and replay it afterwards. That would be really cool. I always thought it would be fun to have like an X-rated version of the NFL where guys are just mouthing off, like totally uncensored. But I think they've probably started to dial it back a little bit. You see a little bit of that on the Hard Knocks. I do like that the Dolphins are going to be on Hard Knocks for the tail end of the season. or the in-season Hard Knocks. Maybe we get a little insight into what they're doing over there. James says, I say we go to NFL headquarters dressed up as blind refs for Halloween. Fun fact, if you guys would like to get yourselves a t-shirt, I have the 3 Blind Mice t-shirt over on, or 3 Blind Refs, I guess. 3 Blind Refs over on jetstalk.com. Jetstalk.com. I have a few new shirts that just dropped over there. Obviously, right here, we've got the Talkin' Jets stuff as well. I have that scrolling through. But there's some new stuff over on the Jets Talk website. So if you want to check it out, I dropped 2 new bum shirts. That's right. Bum. So if you'd like to get into one of those, take a look at that. Jet Engine says, I was 18th Infantry. Reg and Big Red won, both at D-Day. Big Red won. I have not seen Big Red won. I don't think I know enough about this, Jet Engine. You may need a follow-up comment. I feel like I'm missing something here. I'm not super dialed into that. But thank you for your service. Greatly appreciated. Blitzcrew says Leprechaun was Jennifer Aniston's first movie, I think, pre-nose job. If The Simpsons is accurate, Brazilian Kids show worth your time. Brazilian Kids show worth your time. Brazilian Kids show. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Blitzcrew? So that was Aniston's first movie. Anaconda, if you go back and watch Anaconda, or go look at the list of people who were in that, there's a ton of famous people in that one too. I think both were probably 90s. Anaconda, I think, was mid-90s, 94, 95, 96, somewhere in there. Leprechaun, I don't actually know when that one was. Had to be early 90s, late 80s maybe. Lozano says, I grew up with Ren and Stimpy. Grew up on Ren and Stimpy too. I was a Nick kid. A lot of Nickelodeon. Rocko's Modern Life. Rocket Power. Angry Beavers. Got a whole bunch of them. Sports from the Heart says, Miss Rachel is life. I hear her voice in my sleep. Henrada guy says, mic up the refs for TV. Justman Jet says Sutton is the perfect number 2. I agree. Just got to get them to trade him to us. Dolphins fans still sore after all those tush pushes. So upset those Dolphins fans are. We didn't get any flags. Yeah. Tell us about it. Oh, we're injured. Oh, did you have your starting quarterback against the Eagles? Must be nice. Must be nice. Oh, Radimus. Throwing some heat your way, Jet Engine. He says, I appreciate your service, Jet Engine. Just not your loser takes. Oh, no. Little compliment when it comes around with the backhand. It's a high five. Thank you. Whack. Coming back the other way. Jingle Dubs says, Anaconda was horrible. No, Anaconda was great. Give me the campy monster movies. Yo, I'm pumped. November 17th, Apple's releasing some sort of monster series. It's like the Godzilla King Kong stuff. I think they're doing like a mini-series with that. Big fan. Love me some kaiju references. And movies. I used to watch all the Godzillas. Jet Engine! Thank you so much. He says, 18th Infantry Regiment landed on Dog Green at Normandy as part of the first ID Big Red 1. Oh, I got you. Okay. So Big Red 1 I have heard before. I've heard that term before in reference to World War II, but I guess I did not put that together. Multiple CMH winners on the 6th of June, honored to serve in that regiment in the 1990s, served in Desert Storm in the 24th. Oh, very cool. Jet Engine giving us a history lesson. Very cool. Thank you again for your service. And I'm going to throw Radimus at Prime. Another shot there. Still calling you out in your loser takes. Nah, I like Jet Engine. Jet Engine's level-headed. Compared to some of the people, very level-headed. John comes in with a super chat. Thank you, John. Says, Rodgers comes back. We make a Super Bowl run. Lions choke the NFC North to the Bears and get to the Super Bowl. Rodgers launches a TD to Cobb and yells, I still own you. Imagine if the Bears go from number 1 pick last week. I mean, I guess they still have the number 1 pick because the Panthers still have the number 1 pick. But could you imagine if the Bears turn around and win the North? You got to think that's got to go to the Lions still. Even with the drop of the ball this past week, I would like to see the Lions win that division. I do think if Rodgers comes back, and I was on the AFC East roundtable before, and I was like, hey, you guys saying, oh, all the teams in the AFC East are pretenders? They can all kick rocks. Jets are pretenders. Jets are playing with a backup quarterback. We get to the end of the season and Jets have their starting quarterback back. Let's say we go into week 18 when Rodgers is back. Yo, records get wiped to 0-0, mother truckers. Aaron Rodgers back makes this team an entirely different team. Entirely different team. Lozos' Anaconda was a classic. Paula loves Godzilla as well. I'm glad. Jesse says, question, why is everyone saying we need a wide receiver when we have Garrett and we can barely protect Zach? Let's build our offensive line, then worry about getting more weapons when we have enough for now. Or then worry about more weapons. We have enough for now. The fear is if Garrett goes down, we don't have wide receivers. Losing Hardman, losing Davis, both during this season, you have to start to see a little bit more Brownlee, I think, to feel more comfortable with not trading for a wide receiver. And I get the feeling the Jets are not going to make a trade for a wide receiver because I think they are comfortable with the players they have on the roster right now. And I would tend to agree, even in the offseason, I would feel less. I think I'm less likely to take a wide receiver in the draft. Like, let's call it first round needs. I think you could argue wide receiver in the first round, and we'll definitely get into it come draft season. But I think offensive line is definitely the bigger priority right now, especially with some wide receivers that are hitting free agency in the open market. Like, I want Mike Evans, if he's going to hit the open market in the offseason, because I don't believe the Bucs are going to franchise tag him. If he hits the open market, that's who the Jets should be going after. Jets got to figure out offensive line, but sadly, I don't know if there's a guy out there right now to do that. Blitzcrew says, couldn't send the YouTube link as a super chat. Email it to you regarding Brazilian kids show from The Simpsons. Okay, let's take a look at it. See what you got going on over there. YouTube link. I don't know if I can show it on screen. So I'm going to play it. Oh no, it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'll watch it after and then I'll comment on it. I can't play it during the thing because they'll definitely be like, yeah, you can't monetize the stream. But I'll take a look. Simpsons has gotten everything correct forever, for the longest time. So it would not shock me if they were correct again. We've got Jeremy joining the show. Jeremy, how you doing tonight?
Oh, snap. How you doing?
Hanging in there. How you enjoying the bye week, Jeremy?
I'm enjoying it because you know why? We not going to lose. Or win.
It feels like we got a little bit of a win, right? Like you see the Bills lose to the Patriots, you see the Dolphins lose to the Eagles, and we just played the Eagles, and Dolphins fans are all in a panic. They're saying, oh, we were injured. Oh, we didn't get calls our way. Feeling a lot more confident in our Jets.
I'm just worrying about the Patriots because it's like Bill Belichick always got our number.
He really does. Do you think Zach plays that final game, or you think maybe we get a Rodgers appearance for the final game of the season?
I won't risk Rodgers. I'm risky on him. He need to just go ahead and just sit down and just keep calling plays from the sideline.
Right?
Let
Yeah,
Zach
I've heard that before too. Like a lot of people are afraid to get him out in front of anyone else because of the historic recovery time for Achilles.
I swear the whoopsie daisy. I say, I'm like,
Yep.
come on now.
The one thing
But
I tell people is like, hey, if Rodgers tears his Achilles, he's got twice as long to come back from that Achilles as he does this one. So I'm not like as concerned. Probably a bad
he
way to
only
look at
got
that.
2 years. He only got 2 years, so I do want to go to a Jets game next year and see him play. So
Oh,
I do
100%.
want
Well,
to.
that's what I'm saying. Like if he tears his Achilles at any point during the season, he's got 8 months instead of 4 months to recover.
You think he should just wait it out to next year?
No. I think he absolutely should play. If he's ready to play, if he's cleared and ready to go week 18, let's fucking go. Let's try to win a ring this year. I think the Jets are going to be in the playoffs. I think there's a real good shot we're fighting for the division.
Cause I know everybody at work, they be teasing me and stuff. They like, what them sorry ass Jets gonna do? What they gonna do? I just like, I got 2 words for you. They're like, what's that? Super Bowl. They like, man, whatever.
Dude.
That's all I gotta say. Super Bowl.
I put $100 on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I'd love to know what the odds are now. They're probably even higher than they were when I put them on prior to them getting Rodgers. But dude,
higher.
I think if you can get Rodgers back by the end of the season and you are in playoff contention, the Jets are a very, very dangerous team.
Our defense is gonna keep us in the game. That's why I love our
100%.
defense. CJ Mosley, I love that veteran. Quincy
Dude,
Williams, he
Mosley
been
and
holding
Quincy,
down since he been there.
filthy.
I mean, we got some vets. Sauce
We got some
Gardner, he need to
dogs in the
step up a little
linebacker
bit. I think Sauce Gardner need to step up a little bit. He been kind of slacking lately.
I think there's a little bit of maybe sophomore slump type of feelings in the fan base because of how good he was last year. He's still playing relatively well for this season. Like I would still call him a top level cornerback, and I would want him on the other team's best receiver. But at the very least, you have to say, okay, at least catch the balls that hit you in the hands. Let's get those turnovers.
You think we should go for a trade for a quarterback before the trade deadline?
I don't think so. I'm good with Zach right now, and I'm good with Simeon behind him. So if Zach does start to falter, I would pull the plug and I would put Simeon in because the rest of this team deserves to win. You can, even if you're winning in spite of Zach, keep Zach in. I understand that. But if he's really shit in the bed like he did against New England or last year versus the Jaguars, you got to pull the carpet out from under him and you got to at least give this team a chance to win. Jeremy, you have been ejected from the cockpit. Thank you so much for your call. Love it. Absolutely love it. Keep this angle up a little bit more. Do a little, see what I can do over here. Keep this angle up a little bit longer. Fun. Rotate through stuff. Boys and girls, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button if you like what you're seeing here. If you would like to help support the channel, all you got to do is head over to Yellow Dog Fantasy. Bam! Yellow Dog Fantasy. Coming in. There is a lot that you can do over there. Sorry, let me just move my screen around. All over the place. Look at this. Throwing a $20 contest. See if I can shrink this up and make it look a little bit better. It's not going to want to cooperate with me, is it? Nope. Not going to do it. See, that's what happens when I don't plan this the right way. That's okay. All you got to do, you like higher, lower contests? All you got to do is pick 2 teams. And all of a sudden, you're stacking odds. So you can see that on a $20 entry, you can win $120. You stack it all the way up to 5, 420x your entry. If you'd like to get in on this, you want to support the channel, Underdog Fantasy, link is in the description down below. Use promo code JETS247. It'll get you up to $500 first time deposit match. Like I said, helps the channel. I'd probably be doing this stuff even if they weren't supporting the channel. So don't let Underdog know this. But the more people that wind up using the code, the more it helps the channel. They wind up saying, hey, that guy over there in the Jets world, he's worth paying attention to. So keep them supporting the channel. Thank you. Earn yourself some money. That's really what I want to see. Boys and girls, we're going to go back to your comment questions, see what's going through your heads. James says, what week can Rodgers come back without getting 65% of the snaps? Well, it depends on how many snaps you have per game, right? If the Jets hike the ball and stand still for 15 minutes, that's one snap. That would be 25% of a game. But it's 25% over the course of a season, 65% over the course of a season, right? He's not going to hit that. There's no way. Because I don't think playoffs are considered in this. It's not like, oh, Rodgers comes back last week of December and something squirrely happens and there's only 4 games. Not going to happen. Ferris Graham says, Aaron Rodgers' mic is acting up. Did anyone see the clip? I did not see the clip. You guys have to send it to me. Blitzkrieg says, would love to trade for offensive line, but everyone is down O-lineman. No one is giving them up. Still no Collins news. I haven't seen any Collins news. That leads me to believe that he's still injured and maybe not passing those final physicals that he needs to pass. Billy says, Giants and Chargers are not going to lay down for the Jets. Not 2 fluff games. Come ready for a fist fight after the bye. I 100% agree. Those teams still have things to fight for. You cannot overlook anyone. Cannot overlook anyone. Harlan says, Jets have Gibson. He could be a wide receiver. Don't forget Lazard and Cobb. You also have Brownlee. I would like to see a little bit more from Brownlee because we have not seen him in season. We've seen Gibson and the gadget plays that he's able to do with replacing Hardman. Cobb, been not very reliable this year. I would like to not move on from him, but I would like to see him fulfill his veteran role from the sideline as opposed to on the field. If you feel like the nerves are getting amped up in the huddle and you got to throw him in, fine. Not 50% of the snaps, though. Douglas comes in with a super chat. Thank you. Just watched a video of Jerry Jeudy's 2022 highlights, and I think he would be a great pickup. His route running is on par with Garrett Wilson, and in the slot is dangerous. Plus, there's the Hackett connection. Yes, but I don't think the Broncos are going to trade us any of their wide receivers. I feel like unless we are the highest bidder, which I don't foresee happening, because we're not going to give up the first, I don't see us giving up a third for a wide receiver. And if that's true, now maybe other people are saying, okay, hey, we think we will give up a third, and maybe there's a little bit of difference there. But I would say I do not believe that the Jets will give up a third this year in the draft for a wide receiver, let alone from the Broncos. I agree. I think Jeudy and Sutton are great additions. I just don't see it. Lozano says, for real, Rodgers needs to just freaking heal. Stay in the booth and off the damn field. Yeah, you don't want to accidentally get run into by an offensive player or a defensive player, any player for that matter. Jesse says, we need to stop coping from other dealers, other teams, and homegrown some of our own product. FYI, skill positions. I would love some homegrown. Bryce Huff, the most delicious type of homegrown. Someone's got to create a strand like that. Bryce Huff, knock you on your ass. Lozo comes in and says, I'm sorry, no way we can speak Super Bowl. Still need to get a win off a bye. You still go to the Super Bowl even if you lose off a bye. But yes, I don't want to be talking Super Bowl. I want to talk about the Giants. Let's win that game. Matthew says, Sauce led up 150 to A.J. Brown. He is not himself. Sauce didn't play A.J. Brown. Matthew, the hell are you talking about? Alfonso says, what model is your curved monitor? This is the Samsung Odyssey Neo G9. It's a monster monitor. Pros and cons. Pros, very cool. I can have all my windows right here without a bezel. Con, not as good a monitor as my 5K iMac screen, and I notice it when I'm editing. So the colors, editing-wise, are slightly different on this screen than what you guys actually see. So it's frustrating from an editing perspective on my side. That would be the only knock that I would say I have on it. Blitzkrieg says, underdog, not yellow dog. See, this is what happens when I screw up. I have a software at work called Yellow Dog. And then underdog's logo is yellow. I jack it up all the time. This is a bad sponsorship. Head over to Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code JetsTalk. No, that's not the code either. Promo code Jets247. Head down in the link below. Jets247 get you up to a $500 deposit match. $500 deposit match. Thank you, Blitz Crew. Keeping me honest. Wrong Verb says, Underdog said the Pick'em option wasn't available to New Jersey residents. It is not. Pick'em for Underdog is not available for New Jersey just yet. They do have Daily Fantasy, which is the weaving back and forth fantasy. It's not a daily fantasy thing. Oh, I guess it's close to a daily fantasy thing. It's not a salary cap type daily fantasy like FanDuel and DraftKings are. It is a snake draft. The Pick'em, though, I live very close to New York. My in-laws are one road over into New York, so 5 minutes away. So usually I just head over there. I make my picks. So if you're in Jersey, can't do the Pick'em. New York, you can, but you can enjoy Underdog Fantasy with the Daily Fantasy as well. All right. Let's head over to Blitz Crew. Blitz Crew, how you doing tonight? Blitz Crew. Going once. Blitz Crew. Going twice. Blitz Crew, what are you doing? Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's it. You're out of here.
Blitz Crew, you made me use the bum button. You gotta get your camera working, brother. Thank you for helping me out on the name, by the way. That's what happens when I screw up the name of the sponsor. Not fun. I see Blitz Crew back there. Can you hear me, Blitz Crew?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear. Welcome to the cockpit.
How you doing, Ryan?
Dude, I'm hanging in there. How are you enjoying the bye week? Kind of watching a little bit of winning from the Jets' perspective. Bills go down, Dolphins go down. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Love seeing that draft pick get worse and worse every week.
Right? Get them as far away from Caleb Williams and Drake May as you can.
I know. A couple of weeks ago, we had a shot at Marvin Harrison Jr., and now we're like pick 17, I think, if it ended today. So
that makes me feel really good.
Yeah, we're getting there. So I trade stuff. I don't think we're going to be able to get an offensive lineman. I wish we could, but I think there's too many injuries across offensive lines throughout the league where everyone's desperate for them, so no one's giving them up. I haven't heard anything about Collins yet.
I have not heard anything from Collins since we heard the physical with the Giants. Right? It was workout with the Giants, and then he was taking a physical with the Giants. That was the last thing I heard from him.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'm thinking the best case scenario we could do trade-wise is maybe a low risk, like a very cheap wide receiver or something like that. The one that gets tossed around a lot is Terrence Marshall out of Carolina.
Yeah.
At least his draft profile sounded like he was someone that would fit in our system. But
I would say I agree with that as far as like it sounds nice, but at the same time, is he necessarily deserving of more snaps than maybe how you might feel about a Brownlee? Like I might feel like saying, hey, I want to see Brownlee more than I want to give up a 5th or 6th or 7th round pick for someone that the Panthers, who need a wide receiver, are not currently I mean, I guess they're saying there's no hard feelings if he comes back, right? They're saying he can seek a trade. I don't know.
But at the end of the day, the only people that know the answer are the people that are watching Brownlee practice. And if they think it's worth gambling a 7th round pick or 6th round pick or something like that in the 2024 draft, you know, if they're not seeing what they want to see out of Brownlee, if Irv Charles can produce on the field, I would love that because he gives us some special teams as well. But he's not getting the field at wide receiver that I've seen.
Dude, it would just make me feel so good if these young receivers on the Jets could be like solutions moving forward. So by the time we get to next year and we're talking about the draft and free agency, we're not like, oh man, like wide receivers are really big need. Now, I think we do probably need that star wide receiver opposite Garrett Wilson in case something happens. And then maybe it relegates Cobb or Lazard a little bit more to a backup role. Do you think there's any chance that the Jets can talk Corey Davis out of, I don't know if we would call it retirement, but coming back?
We can't really say that because we have no idea why he suddenly retired in the first place.
That's true.
If it was some family reason or maybe someone said, too many concussions going around the league or something like that, you got to get out of this while you can. He's made a good amount of money in the league already. He's leaving healthy. He's leaving pretty young. He can live the rest of his life with his family in peace obviously, depending on whatever's going on. I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, I guess I should probably just let that go off my my mind. Don't even think about it anymore. Blitz Crew, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Sounded like you had a little bit more to say. I apologize. I clicked the button a little too fast. Lozano dropping the fraud fin alert. I like it. Clowns and dolphins, they go together. We have a Dolphins fan in the chat. Fins fan. See, Fins fan usually pops in. We will beat down the Jets. All right. Talk a high game now, Fins fan. Smack you around a little bit. Kelvin says, did you see the Kelsey brothers praising the Jets? I did not see that. But I would think there's got to be some level of respect. The Jets are a baller defense right now. Like, we're clearly one of the better teams if the quarterback can figure it out. Lozano, good night, brother. Love the show. Thank you. Thank you very much. Twisted said, the Zach ordeal is getting deeper. If he sits next year under Rodgers, this means we have to use the fifth-year option or extend him. When do we know what we have? Just can't have another Vernon Golston. Yeah, look. I think what's going to happen in the offseason, if Zach continues on the trajectory that he's currently at and he continues to play a little bit better, and you're at least feeling comfortable with him being the backup next year, if that's where you're at, you're going to say, hey, Zach, we want to give you a 2-year extension. We'll give you more money in 2024, and we're going to give you what your fifth-year option would have been if you were the starter in 2025. If you're not the starter in 2025, we would like to pay you X amount of money, whatever that is. That's the part that you have to agree on, right? I would believe, I don't know this to be fact, but I would think that Zach Wilson, after sitting behind Rodgers in this system, is going to feel his best chance to succeed is going to be in this system after Aaron Rodgers is done. So if Zach has his thoughts on potentially a crazy $100+ million contract, is it worth him to leave after 2 years behind Rodgers? Is a team going to give him that money? I don't think so. But having the opportunity to start for the New York Jets after Rodgers is done, with the option of having that, more money for next year, that's the way I would handle it. Because then you don't necessarily decline his fifth-year option, but that's essentially what you're doing. You're declining his fifth-year option because you're saying, hey, we want you to be the backup for your fifth year, potentially, if Rodgers wants to go into 3 years. Because we're talking fifth-year option would be exercised this offseason for the 2025 year. So you would have him under contract in theory, not in theory, but in actuality for this season, after 2023, 2024, plus his fifth-year option in 2025. So if you give him the extension, let's say you have him under contract for 2024 for, let's say it would have been $8 million. I don't know what the number is offhand. I really don't. Let's say we'll give you $12 million for 2024. And then for 2025, we'll give you whatever that fifth-year option would have been as long as you're the starter. As soon as you are the starter, or maybe you're the starter by, week 1, like as long as Rodgers isn't playing. Or we divvy up that amount of money that we're going to pay you as a starter over the course of however many games you start. I feel like that's a fair deal. Now, if Zach really has the stones and he says, oh, no, screw it. I've been mistreated by the fans. They've treated my family like shit in New York. I don't want to be here anymore. Teammates soured on me. Like, maybe that's, I don't think that's where his head's at. But maybe he does. Then the Jets are going to have to say, look, we decline your fifth-year option or we accept your fifth-year option. I don't think I would accept the fifth-year option because I would like to have that third year of Rodgers if we can. And if you accept the fifth-year option on Zach, you have to move on from Rodgers because you're not going to have the money. And I don't think Zach's earned the fifth-year option yet. It's going to be the lowest of all the fifth-year options because he has not hit the playing time threshold. Although with Rodgers not playing this year, Zach's going to be a lot closer. Now that I'm thinking this out loud. So it might be the second highest fifth-year option. There's 3 different tiers. It's interesting, though. I think there's more likely to be a Band-Aid contract with Zach as opposed to letting him walk or exercising his fifth-year option. Blitzker says, anyone know if Taylor was a fan of the NFL prior to Travis? She's an Eagles fan, actually. She's from, I don't know if she's from Philadelphia. I know she's from Pennsylvania. She said she's an Eagles fan. And I believe they say it, she says it in a song, I think. I don't know if it's Eagle. I think she says something about the Eagles, and people ask her, is it the Eagles the band or Eagles the team? And it's Eagles the team. So probably pretty fun for her to be like, oh, well, my favorite team is your brother's team, but I'm Team Travis. Michael Murphy says, heck yeah, glad I was able to make it for some of the show. Listen, we got to see Brownlee play, period. I would like to see Brownlee play because I feel like that might be your answer for potentially a wide receiver position, or at least a style of wide receiver that you may want to hold on to, that you've groomed yourself. 1189 Paris says, maybe Corey Davis refused to take a pay cut like the Brickshaw Ferguson didn't and retired instead. That was sort of the rumor going around. It was the Jets were going to ask Corey Davis for a pay cut. Corey Davis didn't want to take the pay cut. He opted for retirement rather than trying to relocate his family or having the, would you call it embarrassment of having to restructure your deal? Maybe the Jets are feeling a little bit different way and they're like, hey, we got a shot. Let's pay Corey. Let's get him to come back. I'd like to see him. Alfonso says, Dolphins versus Chiefs, not in London. It's in Germany. So that's, I pulled that list from somewhere else, so I'll have to edit it. But, yeah, I forgot the next 2 games, I think, right? There's 2 games in Germany now. King Blaze. If Zach watches Rodgers play, he will learn a ton. He knows that, hopefully. I think he does. I think his family knows that. I think it's just a matter of if there's a team out there that wants to pay him a bunch of money, which I don't think there is. I think the Jets are the team that would pay him the most amount of money if they wanted to. Jeddah Buttercup says, not sure Corey Davis would make a difference anyway. I think Corey Davis would have been our number 2 wide receiver had he played. King Blaze says he can get more money in the future so he can sign a short year extension. Talking about Zach. Twisted says that's one expensive quarterback too. So let me, before I say $12 million, I said $12 million before, but that's probably an incorrect thing for me to say. Let me actually look up what Zach Wilson's cap hit would be next year. I'm actually not that far off. So his cap number is, let's see. So his cap number is $11 million anyway because of the bonus and everything along those lines. So he's going to be an $11.1 million contract in 2024, no matter how you slice it. So unless you wanted to drop his cap hit and give him more guaranteed money in another year or something funky like that, I like the idea of exercising his 5th-year option in the form of an extension rather than an actual 5th-year option, because the 5th-year option actually locks you in. And then let's say the Jets have to use the franchise tag in 2026, right? After Zach's 5th-year option, after that potentially 3rd year of Rodgers maybe, then force us to use the franchise tag or transition tag or something along those lines. I think that's the route you go. And maybe Zach signs a contract that does make it longer, but it voids after 2025. So the Jets can't use the franchise tag. So they're forced to now give him a contract or he goes somewhere else. There's a lot of ways you can kind of finagle the contract side of things. Jesse says, let's be honest. The market for Zach is not going to be crazy. I honestly think he knows his best situations with the Jets. If he goes somewhere else and stinks, his career is over. He'll be a clipboard quarterback. I do agree. I think he realizes his best opportunity is going to be with the New York Jets. Michael, do you think if Rodgers plays for another 2 years, we should extend Zach? Yes. I would extend Zach this offseason. If you feel comfortable enough with him being your backup next year. Because you're not going into 2025 saying, oh, we're going to franchise tag you and potentially have Rodgers or whatever. I would like to extend him and give us the benefit of giving him a little bit more money now to play backup quarterback with the upside of if Rodgers is not here, he gets paid like a starter. That would be my preference. Hi, Kung Fu says, who are we getting before the trade deadline? I don't know if we're getting any players. I really don't. I think nothing of like noteworthiness, I don't think. I think it's going to be some middle of the pack type player or just some late round draft picks for players that we're trying to move. I don't know how big of buyers the Jets are actually going to be. Jesse says, Brownlee reminds me of Braylon Edwards. Something about this kid screams hungry. He'll be good. Give him a shot. I would love to get our new version of Braylon Edwards. Braylon, that first year he was with us after the trade, was so exciting. It was so much fun to watch him and Sanchez sling the rock around. I hope that's what Brownlee can be. I really do. That would be a lot of fun. Kid's got ups. Got stick him on his fingers. Really good. All right. Boys and girls, we're getting towards the end of this stream. Let's see. Let's do a little t-shirt giveaway action. Gotta actually pull up the stream from last week. So you'd think I'd have this queued up by now. I don't have it queued up. All right. Last week's show. We only got 7 comments. Look at you guys. All you got to do is comment down below. Comment down below. Where's my spinny wheel? Do I do a spinny wheel? Where the heck did I hide that? Got the giveaway wheel. The giveaway wheel is built for the Talking Jets show, though. So I'm going to do it a little different. Let's not do the spinny wheel. We'll just pick someone from the... let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 different names. 7 comments, but 4 different names. Now, I guess 2 of them are mine. As replies. Not a lot of views. Or not a lot of comments on last week's Monday night show. So 1 of 4. Someone's getting 25% shot. We've got Jersey Sin CMD. We have Walt Money 069. We have Kenneth Duffy with his algorithm super boost that he does every single week. Love you, Kenneth. And Prestige worldwide. Oh man. 1 of you 4 is going to win a shirt. So let's do this. Let's see if I can... I don't know if I can log into it fast enough. All right, so we're not going to go that way. We're going to do... Let's do a little poll question action. So I've got numbers written down. And we're going to do a poll question. So all you guys that are commenting now, sucks. We're going to say, who wins the shirt? We're going to say 1, 2. So you guys are going to get to pick this. Say 3. We're going to say 4. It's probably not going to work this way in the future. But we'll do it like this for now. So let's see. I'm going to write down, I clicked off, so I don't know what the actual poll's at right now, but I'm going to write down the names for 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the order that I see them on the screen. And I'll show you guys my list at the end so you know I'm not lying. Rigged! Let's see what we got. And 4. So, fun fact, not one person that is on this 1 through 4 list is a commenter from today. No one. Not one person. We got 100 people in here. There's a poll question in the chat. I got my numbers 1 through 4 on this list, which now that I'm looking at this behind the scenes camera, you guys might have been able to see me write down whatever those names are. Did not occur to me that I was flipping the cameras. So let's see. We'll let this go. And we'll let it go to 9:53. 9:53, we'll hit the stop button. See where we're at. Michael Murphy says, how can you comment while watching live? You have to comment after the stream ends. Just throw a comment. If you do a timestamp, double entry. It's got to be a decent timestamp. Question, something like that. Kelvin says, can you use both the transition tag and the franchise tag in the offseason? I don't believe you can. I think you have to choose one or the other. I would very much like to use the transition tag on Mekhi Becton and allow him to search for a contract out in free agency, and the Jets get the opportunity to match. And I would like to extend Bryce Huff. I don't want to have to use the franchise tag on him. Chris Reinig says, best show ever. Chris, best comment ever. Oh man, 17 votes. Number 4 is winning right now. Got 100 people in here. Just throw a vote. Random number. Someone's winning a shirt tonight. And I can't tell who votes for what. So it's okay. Got 2 minutes left in our poll voting. Vote for number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Scott says, I volunteer for a shirt. Got a comment on last week's video. See? Helping the algorithm out. Jesse, fine, just send me the shirt. Got a few good ones in there. Got a few good ones in the arsenal. So looking forward to seeing if anyone... Oh, man. We got a tie now. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Got 2 minutes. 9:53. Place your votes. Place your votes. Twisted says, man, I love JD. Been some time since I have liked our GM, but this Zach ordeal takes the shine off all he has done. Zach better work out with all the time invested. Honestly, if Zach doesn't work out, I still want to keep Douglas. I would rather give him a second opportunity at a quarterback than the field, like another GM. I think Douglas is a really good GM. I really do. I'm going to stand by that. James says, can we get a new version of Jericho Cotchery? I would love that. Love me, Jericho Cotchery. Very good unsung Jet. Michael Murphy says, I can't remember if I did or did not. You did not. You did not comment on yesterday's or on last week's video. Because only Prestige Worldwide, Kenneth Duffy, Walt Money, and Jersey Sin CMD commented. Number 3, currently in the lead. Oh! Gotta end the poll. So we're ending it at 9:53. All right. Number 3, with only 27 votes. 27 votes, that's all you got. You guys can see who my number 3 was. Kenneth Duffy! Kenneth! Reach out to me, jetstalk247@gmail.com. Let me get your info. I'll send you out a shirt from the jetstalk.com store. So if you guys want to see what type of shirts we have over there, jetstalk.com. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. This is Jets Talk signing off. Jets.